Well, with the season wrapped up here in the ARCS for Season 1, let's take a look at all the wrecks we've had throughout the season, and we'll start with Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hope you enjoy, folks.
Marin Kozarich is trying to take that spot from the 99 of Sean Carson, but I don't think we'll get it, and I believe the 11 car might take a look to the inside. Denzel Scott, maybe full wide. The 11 car spun by the 51 car, and Denzel Scott hits the wall hard. Tyler Seville, and this is going to be a big wreck here as everybody tries to get slowed up, and the big one in Atlanta has happened. Who can survive this race here today? We knew there was going to be a big wreck since it was configured to a super speedway, but I was not expecting at least 20 cars involved there. A little bit of smoke on the speedway. I believe there might be a caution. Let's take a look, and their caution lights are on, and we've got another wreck here at Atlanta. And we're back here at Atlanta. Let's take a look at the incident that unfolded. Jerry Funk on the outside got pinned into the wall by the 87 of Paris Riley and the 48 of, I believe that is Roland Heidfeld, and Jerry Funk goes for a ride of his life here at Atlanta. And it looks like the green flag is out, and Richard Petty's still on the track. He's holding up the field. And it looks like Denzel Scott gets screwed over by Richard Petty in the pace car. My goodness, and the 22 car of Elias Goodbias is on the bottom. It looks like we got the 83 of Andy Seville up high, and he's got the lead. What a start to this race. Richard Petty stayed out on the track too long and took out some contenders, and Richard Petty might have caused a caution here at Bristol as the caution lights have turned on. Let's take a look at the replay. We're back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we've got to look at the replay here. Looks like the 21 and the 14 were involved. Trevor Walker in the 21 and the 14 car of Dave Wilson. Let's take a look at what happened. Looks like going into the corner, Trevor Walker just absolutely body slams the 14 car of Dave Wilson into the wall, and it looks like that 21 car is done for the day. And we're back here at Bristol, and Richard Petty's done it again! Richard Petty's, there's a crash! Richard Petty's caused the big one! Oh my goodness! Richard Petty, no! And multiple cars are involved. Richard Petty's calamity corner. Multiple people involved. Poor Richard Petty, somebody's got to get him out of that pace car, and we'll get a replay of this in just a moment. We're back from commercial break here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we've got a replay of the accident that unfolded before us. Looks like the 5 car of Joshua Harrison and the 9 of Deacon Gentleman got involved in an accident coming to the green, trying to avoid Richard Petty for the second time today. We've got to get somebody else in that pace car, and let's take a look. The 9 and the 5 get together and take out the 43 of Richard Petty's team, and the big one happens in front, and looks like majority of the drivers are okay. Everybody has to slow down, but the 50, halfway home, ladies and gentlemen. And the pace car is back out on track, and there's a caution. Thank goodness it wasn't for Richard Petty this time. And we're back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and we've got a replay here. And just as I was talking about earlier, that dive bomb, well, here's an example. Dre Heron in the 88 and the 56 of Draven Sandy. Let's take a look. Just that classic dive bomb getting underneath Draven Sandy and sending him up the hill into the wall. And a little bit of damage there, and that brings out the caution at about the halfway point in this race. Well, and the 83's got the lead, and we have a caution with 6 laps to go, and I believe I could hear somebody cracking the wall back there before the yellow came out, and this makes things interesting. And we're back here from our advertisement break, and we've got the replay of the accident. Looks like the 55 of Marin Kozarich and the 24 of Jacob Bradley are, funny enough, 2 winners this season, both involved in an accident, and let's take a look. Marin gets into Jerry Funk, and and a hard hit for both drivers as Jacob Bradley and Marin Kozarich both are in the wall. I believe that's going to end the 55 car's day while the 24 is still rolling out on track. He's nearly spinning Trevor Walker in that 21 car out. And I believe we have a crash, a big crash, as multiple cars are strung out throughout the pack, and we do have a crash, the 38 of Dmitry Yanukovych, and let's take a look at this accident. And we're back here from commercial break at Fontana, California, and we've got a look at the replay here. Looks like it all starts with Denzel Scott and Matthew Bussey. Let's take a look. Denzel Scott gets in the back of the 29 and sends this 12-car wreck in motion. Cassidy Reynolds and Pedro Perez just innocent victims that get collected a little after this wreck was past its prime, and yeah, major damage for some of these contenders. Joshua Harrison might be okay, but he had his way. Would like to see 3x3x3. Everybody stalled out throughout the pack. Whoa, and we got contact. That 93, I believe, of that was Callie and Bogarts and Dave Wilson. We're drifting, and we've got a spin. And, oh my goodness, I believe that's Paris Riley went for a spin on the backstretch, and we have a caution with 11 of 25 complete. I saw that smoke there, but let's take a look. And we're back here at Fontana, and we found the reason for the caution here in that spin on the backstretch. Looks like it involved Paris Riley in that 87, the 27 of Tristan Fitch, and the 31 of Beth Sanders. Let's take a look. Looks like that 27 just hooks the 87 and sends Paris Riley around, and the 31 of Beth Sanders could not save it and whacked that inside retaining wall and almost took out the one car, but that did not happen, and I'm surprised. Pedro Perez looking to the inside of Quinn Porter there for third. Oh, and we've got a crash! A big crash! I thought I saw somebody flip, but maybe not, and this is a big wreck early in this race. Multiple drivers involved, and let's take a look at the replay. And we're back here at Phoenix International Raceway, and we've got a look at the replay here. Looks like it all started between the 16 car of Carter Hayden and the 10 of Jordan Walker getting into Diego Tacone and setting up a huge wreck here at Phoenix early. Let's take a look. Oh, and just a vicious hit for the 47 car of Diego Tacone. And Carter Hayden almost goes airborne there, almost goes for a barrel roll, and multiple drivers absolutely destroyed here early. There's Mitch Barrier underneath Ringus McDingus there. Oh, and I believe the caution is out. Must have had another crash here, and we'll get another. Oh, Maxwell Smart's involved, and the pace car's out. And we're back here at Phoenix with a replay of the accident, and let's take a look. Jarrett Trudell spins Paris Riley, and she spins like a top up into the top groove of the track and takes out Joshua Harrison, Maxwell Smart, Deacon Gentleman, and Cassidy Reynolds. Into turn 3 and 4. But Draven Sandy is going to hold steady here, and we've got a caution. Oh no, more drivers must be involved in a crash, and Draven Sandy's going to race back to the line, and we'll get a replay for you, folks. And we're back here at Phoenix, and we've got a replay of the accident. Looks like it involves the 5, the 42, and the 24 here. Joshua Harrison hooks the 42, and Jacob Bradley is along for the ride. Let's take a look. All these teams in the back of the field that have damage just trying to survive here at Phoenix, but if I was Pedro Perez, I would be very nervous. We've got 3 wide back there, Quinn Porter, Ellie Buss, and Tristan Fish. Also Ringus McDingus making, oh no! And the 15 car is going to go around! Is anybody going to hit him? Oh, and they miss him! Oh, Quinn Porter spins with 2 laps to go, and you know what, folks? This is going to set up an overtime finish here in Phoenix. Another one of our West Coast swing winners. Oh, and we've got a crash back there. Jordan Walker's around, and I believe that's Sean Carson as well. Oh, we've got 2 wrecks. Oh my gosh, Brandy Harper. Oh, and there's a massive crash. We're going to need to get a replay of this, and we'll be right back in a moment. And we're back here at Vegas, and it looks like we've got the right angle here of this replay, and it looks like the 99 of Sean Carson got into the back of the 1 car of Jarrett Trudell and set this whole first portion of the wreck here in Vegas in motion. Let's take a look. As Sean gets into Jarrett Trudell, and Jordan Walker gets collected there in that 10 car, and then Jarrett just whacks the wall again, and that's the first incident there. Here's the second and into the third movement of this wreck here at Vegas. As you can see, Draven Sandy on the bottom of the track with Noah Hobson behind got collected by Jordan Walker, so Draven Sandy goes low and gets into Beth Sanders in the process, getting to the white line. That sends Beth Sanders into Quinn Porter in the 15, and then Theophilus Morgendorfer in that 13 car and Quinn Porter go around. So it's a real accordion effect, and let's take a look. And Quinn Porter spins around, and he doesn't want to get hit, and he thinks he's got it, and Dimitri comes in and says hello. Oh, hard hit for both drivers, and that 38 car and 15 are junked. And the top 3 cars have separated, but there's a caution. And we'll get a replay of the accident and get all of you informed here. And we're back here at Las Vegas after a commercial break. And it looks like the 93 and 36 got involved in a crash here with Callie and Bogarts going for a wild ride. Probably the craziest one this season. Let's take a look. As that car goes up the track and creams the wall, and that thing is end over end. And Denzel Scott's trying to avoid that flipping car and gets into the 36 of Keith Vega. And that 93 car is done. And caution is out here on the speedway. And these drivers are going to slow down. And I believe it's Pedro Perez, and we'll get a look here, folks. And we've got a replay of the accident here, and it looks like Jarrett Trudell in the 1 car and Jordan Walker in that 10 car involved in our first accident here today at Vegas are involved in the 3rd accident. Let's take a look. So you've got the 88 of Dre Herron and Jarrett Trudell, and everybody gets collected and eats the wall, and then Pedro Perez gets destroyed by Jordan Walker coming down the track, and that's the accident here for the 3rd caution of the day. Got poor Joshua Harrison. Whoa, as Quinn Porter gets into Tyler Seville back there. I think Tyler Seville's in the wall. Yep, Tyler Seville's in the wall. Oh, and we've got a car around. Tyler Seville's holding up the whole pack, and we got a big one. Matthew Bussey Jr. is involved. Andy Seville, Jerry Funk, and Ringus McDingus all go for a slide through the grass. And Dre Herron's going to lead them back to the caution flag. But Trevor Walker's going to pit, and I believe Trevor Walker is the only one to pit, but I don't know. Trevor Walker's... Oh, and we've got a crash! Jacob Bradley, Draven Sandy involved. This might bring out the yellow flag, and people are pitting. We'll see if the caution lights are out. We'll try to find a car on track and see if the caution lights are out. And the pace car's out, and this is going to change the complexion of the race. And it looks like Trevor Walker will lead us back to the restart. And we'll take a look at the replay in just a moment. And we're back here at Texas World Speedway. You know, last week I told you about the worst wreck in ARCS history so far. Well, we've got probably a worse one here as Matthew Bussey Jr. and Quinn Porter get involved. And let's take a look. Quinn Porter gets absolutely murdered by Matthew Bussey Jr. and the Budweiser car goes rolling down the hill like a drunk guy. And to the bottom of the track he goes, and where he stops, nobody knows, but he's on his roof here at Texas World Speedway for the Wrangler 60. And the pace car has come on track, and I think this might be an overtime finish as Cassidy Reynolds has damage, 26 of 30 complete, and we'll show you the replay. And we've got the replay at Texas World Speedway, and nobody went to space here, as we've got Andy Seville in that Burger King racing car and Cassidy Reynolds in that Roush Racing machine, and let's take a look. Andy Seville just did not like Cassidy Reynolds' move probably earlier in the race, and Cassidy Reynolds almost saved it, but pulled the Danica Patrick and hit the wall with a great opening on the bottom there, and he'll get a lot of space as Maxwell Smart's full wide, and Quinn Porter and Beth Sanders get into each other. Clay Stone's in the wall. Oh, and Quinn Porter gets spun out just another time, just for good measure, and we'll see the race back to the line as Noah Hobson's going to take us back under yellow. And we're back here at Rockingham, North Carolina. We've got to look at the replay here, and looks like we've got Jacob Bradley. He's not a part of this specific wreck, but he was in the wall going into turn 2 here. But the real accident arises from, as you can see, the Husky Tools Camry on the bottom. Maxwell Smart gets into Dre Herron. Dre Herron gets into Beth Sanders, and Beth Sanders ultimately cleans out Quinn Porter. Let's take a look. Quinn Porter and Beth Sanders get together. Clay Stone hits the wall hard. Elias Goodbias with a little bit of damage. And Quinn Porter goes around for a second time. And that's the first wreck here. And we're back here at the Rock. We've got the second accident that happened under caution. And this was going into turn 1 after the drivers took the yellow flag. And let's take a look here. Warren Kozarich, Andy Seville get into it. Denzel Scott's an innocent victim. And everybody piles in here. Got slower cars on track. That is possible. Ooh, Matthew Bussey Jr. comes out. Could this strategy work for him? Oh, and Mark Ware is going to get sent sideways, almost into Bussey Jr., and this might be a caution. Oh, and Dave Wilson's collected. Oh, and they're right in front of the leaders! A big wreck is about to happen! Draven Sandy's almost over the pit wall! Up and over! Oh, this is a massive crash! What has befallen the pack here at Rockingham? Multiple drivers involved. We're going to have to get multiple replays of this. What an unexpected turn of events, and we'll have to come back here after commercial break, and I need a drink. Whew, and we're back here at Rockingham after the biggest wreck, I think, ever in ARCS history. I know we're setting records every week when it comes to wrecks, but looks like we've got here, at the beginning of this wreck, we've got the 10 car of Jordan Walker, who was up toward the front of the pack after pit stops, but Mark Ware was cycling into a different strategy, and Mark Ware here was trying to come down pit road, or the entry to pit road, and Jordan Walker was having none of it. So let's take a look here at the beginning stages, and you've got Bussy Jr., who almost gets collected, unfortunately, here, but he escapes, and then we've got Mark Ware trying to come up the track, Dave Wilson, poor Dave Wilson, and a pack of cars, coming up to speed, and Jacob Bradley gets into Mark Ware, and here spawns the demon here at Rockingham. Oh my god. And Pedro Perez has got a car on top of him. And we'll have to get multiple angles of this one, as we'll be right back with another angle here. And we're back here at Rockingham Speedway, and let's take a look at Draven Sandy's craziest ride of the season, as Dave Wilson spins like a top, collects Draven Sandy, and Maxwell Smart sends him for a journey as Carter Hayden gives him some help, and he lands on top of Pedro Perez. Does a little bit of a back bumper slide, and multiple drivers involved, lots of damage. Jordan Walker, Tristan Fish on the bottom. There's a lap car wrecking in front of him. Is this going to affect the leaders? Tristan Fish on the bottom underneath Jordan Walker, and they're going to race back to the line. Tristan Fish, I think, is going to get the lead to the caution flag, and Tristan Fish does. And we're back here at the Rock. We've got a replay of the accident that happened with the lap cars right in front of our leader at the time, Jordan Walker. Let's take a look. Looks like Theophilus Morgendorfer gets spun off the front bumper of Quinn Porter, and hopefully nobody else gets tagged here and everybody makes it, surprisingly. And the caution is out here at the Rock. I just checked the lights as they crossed the finish line, and Elias Goodbias must be involved here. And we're back from another wreck-filled caution here, and let's take a look at the replay. Cassie Reynolds gets into Callian Bogarts and collects multiple drivers. Trevor Walker, Quinn Porter, and Elias Goodbias. Mark Ware gets spun up there too, but 5-6 drivers involved, and more drivers are probably going to be out of this race. And my producer is telling me in the booth that there is a caution, and everyone's lined up together, and we've got another wreck with almost 10 laps to go. Let's take a look at the replay. And we're back here at the Rock with another accident. Looks like we've got Paris Riley, Andy Seville, and Brandy Harper in this wreck. Let's take a look. Andy Seville gets into Brandy Harper, spins her up into the top lane, and Paris Riley's just an innocent bystander. Trevor Walker, Theophilus Morgendorfer all get a little taste of the action, as Matthew Bussy's pushing the heck out of Jerry Funk. Jerry Funk, he's getting funked up. And we got a caution. Spin in front, I believe. Or something went around it. Joshua Harrison's up in smoke. Let's take a look at the accident. And we're back here at the Rock, and it looks like we've got Joshua Harrison and Ellie Buss. Let's see how interesting it gets here. Ellie Buss, Joshua Harrison get in the wall. Tyler Seville, Brandy Harper, and Brandy Harper sends Joshua Harrison for a flip, and he lands on his wheels. So far, so bueno here, as Quinn Porter's on that outside line, and we had some contact in the middle of the pack, but no, and there was an accident. Andy Seville is going around. Tyler Seville as well. 2 spins, 3 spins throughout the pack. Major wrecks, and we'll have to get multiple replays of this, but we've got a spin in the back and a couple throughout the pack as they came to the caution, and we'll get a look in just a moment. And we're back here at Chicagoland, and we've got a couple different views of the accident here. We've got the first one here is Mark Ware and Callian Bogarts. Let's take a look here as they get into each other, and Mark Ware and Callie Bogarts whack the wall pretty hard, getting involved with Mitch Berry. And then two spins up here in the front. Tyler Seville, Denzel Scott, Elias Goodbias, and Jared Jansen collect a bunch of cars up here. No real big damage, but there was 3 separate incidents. So as we got Joshua Harrison, going to make it almost 4 wide here. Whoa! And Joshua Harrison gets into Maxwell Smart, and Maxwell Smart goes around. Watch out, everybody. Don't hit Maxwell. Oh, and Maxwell Smart goes up into the front of the pack and causes the big one. And more drivers are piling in. Slow down. Oh, and the Trevor Walker's upside down. Multiple cars on their roof. They did not slow down. And the result is carnage here at Chicagoland, and the pace car is out. It's 7 of 12 complete in the Miller High Life 48. And I don't see anything wrong, but we'll be right back, and we'll get a replay of this, folks. And we're back here at Road America, and we've got a replay of the accident, or more spin, I should say, as we've got Theophilus Morgendorfer getting into Trey Herron, and Morgendorfer goes around, and that was the cause of the caution. Not a big accident, but the race control deemed it as a caution, so we'll roll with it here at Road America.
Flagman's got the flag out, and as soon as he waves, the drivers are underway. And Clay Stone with a pretty good start there against Theophilus Morgendorfer, and we've got 4 wide already. Denzel Scott on that far outside line. Carter Hayden and Martin Kozarch are around. And we've got a crash going into turn 1. Only 3 cars involved. A slow spin into the wall for those 3 cars, but I believe they are okay. A couple scrapes on the right side of that 55 machine. And we're back from commercial break, and we've got a look at the accident here, and it looks like it involves just 3 cars, Martin Kozarch, Carter Hayden, and Denzel Scott, as they go for a lazy spin going into turn 1, and not too much damage for 2 cars, except for, well, a little bit of right side damage there for Denzel Scott, but he'll continue. And Andy and Tyler Seville are side by side here. Whoa, and there's a caution out, I believe, as the cars are slow on track, and there is a caution, and we'll get a replay in just a moment. And we're back here at Iowa Speedway, and we've got a replay of the accident here. We actually had 2 accidents in this caution period here. Let's take a look at the first. Dre Herron and Clay Stone getting involved together, and Jerry Fugg absolutely destroying the back end of that 88 machine, and we'll get another look of the other accident here in just a moment. And we've got another look at the second accident here at Iowa, and it looks like if you look at the top part of your screen, Callie Bogarts is pitting here, so a strategic pit for her, but looks like Quinn Porter got into Clay Stone, and Clay Stone we thought was on a murderous rampage earlier, collecting Dre, and Jordan Walker goes for a ride, collects Denzel Scott, Jarrett Trudell, and a couple other drivers at the back of the pack, and I believe we're under caution here. Yep, we are under caution, so we'll get a replay of the accident, but we'll see if Quinn Porter's strategy can pay off here at Iowa. And we're back here at Iowa, and it looks like the cause for the caution here is Dave Wilson and Keith Vega, and they get into Noah Hobson, our points leader, and Noah Hobson got some major damage there, but not as much as Jacob Bradley and Keith Vega got after they bounced off the inside wall, and turn 3 and 4 is Calamity Corner here at Iowa Speedway. A lot of things have happened in it. Oh, and I believe we got a caution. This has just been a caution fest here. But yep, and the pace car is out, and the caution is back out at Iowa. This is a race of pit stops and attrition here, folks. And we'll get a replay of the accident in just a moment. And we've got a replay of the accident here at Iowa, and it looks like Dre Herron's in another one here as Brandy Harper and Dre Herron get together and clean out Cassidy Reynolds here. If you watch Cassidy Reynolds here, she almost gets cleaned out by Beth Sanders there. But they do not get into each other, just almost cleaned the 17 car out, but they keep it clean here at Iowa. Might get somebody off his front bumper, but we'll see how things shake out. Whoa, Joshua Harrison's going to eat the wall, and we got another caution. And we've got the replay of the spin here after another caution flag has come out. Looks like Dre Herron and Callie Bogarts get into Quinn Porter and Roland Heidfeld. These drivers back here have not had a good race, and Roland Heidfeld almost cleaned out the 43, but the 43 chose the wall over Roland Heidfeld's quarter panel, so Pedro Perez won at Phoenix, and I believe these drivers are slowing down, I believe, and the caution flag is out. Is the caution flag out? Yep, the caution is out again, and more carnage has happened on the racetrack, and we'll get a replay in just a moment. And we're back here at Iowa Speedway, and it looks like we got another replay of another accident as Keith Vega gets into Draven Sandy and a bunch of cars in the back that I believe are lap cars get involved, and the cars in the back of the field cannot stop wrecking here at Iowa. 6 laps to go, and I believe we're under caution. And we are under caution here at Iowa Speedway as I get confirmation from the lights, and this is going to make it interesting here at Iowa Speedway. And we're back here at Iowa Speedway after a much-needed green flag run, and we got a caution as Clay Stone, Sean Carson, Callian Bogarts, and Tristan Fish all get together on the backstretch, as the back markers have done here today, and we'll get right back to the action. Denzel Scott, though, impressive run for that 11 car, Joe Gibbs Racing, and the caution's out here at Darlington, South Carolina. Richard Petty back in that pace car. Oh, and we got somebody spinning, Dre Herron, a non-playoff driver. Had a rough time this season, but the season gets rougher for Dre Herron, and we'll show you the replay in just a moment as we come back to the start-finish line here. And we're back with a look at the replay here. It looks like it involves Keith Vega, that 36, Dre Herron, and Mark Ware, as Dre Herron almost goes airborne and does a little bit of a pirouette/barrel roll, but he does not go for a ride. And Dre Herron with a little bit of damage on that right side, but everybody comes out unscathed, and no playoff drivers were involved, so we'll get back to the action in just a moment. Burger King would not be happy if a McDonald's driver won here today, and the caution is out. 32 of 46 complete, and we'll find out who the culprit is for this caution. We'll get the replay in just a moment. And we've got a replay of the accident at Darlington, and Diego Tacona, playoff driver, gets involved with a non-playoff driver, Jordan Walker. And Diego Tacone goes for a long spin down the front stretch, but ultimately comes to a screeching halt, and that is not good for a 2-time winner in the series early in this playoff run. Miraculously, they qualified like 15th or 20th, and they've clawed their way back, and I believe we've got a caution. I might have just jumped the gun there, but I'll check the timing and scoring, and yep, there's a caution. So we'll get a replay of the caution and get a short restart here for the final laps of this playoff race. And we've got a replay of the accident at Darlington, and a playoff driver is taking a hard hit on track, but it's going to be another hard hit in the points for Deacon Gentleman as he slides through the front portion of this course, and Deacon Gentleman slides in points. Interesting wreck at Darlington, but he's up inside the top 6 here. Oh, and we've got a spin back there. Carter Hayden's around. Playoff drivers and playoff implications as a massive crash has befallen the pack here at Coca-Cola. So, oh, and a driver's upside down. Dave Wilson is up and over here, and he slid into frame. Oh my gosh, oh, that made me chuckle here, but obviously not a good day for Dave Wilson. And we'll get a replay of that accident. And we're back here at Coca-Cola Super Speedway after a gnarly wreck here as Jerry Funk and Paris Riley, 2 dominant cars early, got involved, and we'll see Jerry Funk from this angle for the first look at this wreck, and Jerry Funk barely hits the wall there, but very bad start to this race for Jerry Funk, a dominant car early, and we'll get a second angle of this replay in just a moment. And we're back with another angle here at not Talladega, but Coca-Cola, as Carter Hayden, a playoff driver, gets involved, and multiple playoff drivers involved. Dave Wilson goes for a slow slide, well, a fast slide here, but we'll take a look at the other playoff drivers that got involved here in just a moment. And we're back here at Coca-Cola Super Speedway for a third look at this wreck, and we'll give you Dave Wilson's view of the accident, and we're going to have a just take in the sights and sounds of this wreck, folks, and we'll give you an ARCS crank it up. As you can see there, Dave Wilson hit terminal velocity and teleports right back to pit lane. And speaking of Talladega, we have, oh, and Quinn Porter almost gets it. Oh, and Dmitry Yanukovych and Quinn Porter are making contact in 3 and 4, and this is not going to work, and Noah Hobson's in the wall. I jinxed him, and no call, and the caution is out. A big crash behind as Noah Hobson gets involved, and a bunch of other drivers, Maxwell Smart, around. And I jinxed Noah Hobson, and we'll get a replay in just a moment. And we're back here at Charlotte with a replay of the incident. It looks like we've got points leader Noah Hobson getting in the wall and then getting into Dmitry Yanukovych. And then some chaos in the back happening as drivers were trying to avoid this carnage up front, and Maxwell Smart gets turned along with the playoff driver of Andy Seville back there, and Brandy Harper and Clay Stone. Brandy Harper's a playoff driver, but and Matthew Bussey Jr.'s in the wall along with Quinn Porter, and there's going to be a wreck. Diego Chacon, the playoff drivers involved, and Elias Goodbias, and whoa, Deacon Gentleman's up and over. A big one has befallen the pack here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Multiple playoff drivers involved, and we will definitely have to get multiple different angles of that crash. We'll be back in just a moment. And we're back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and we'll show you both wrecks here, but from the vantage point of Keith Vega. As you can see, Diego Chacon and Quinn Porter got penned in by Keith Vega, and we'll see how it all plays out here, and I'll let you experience the moment here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As Deacon Gentleman goes flying over Keith Vega, we'll get a replay of Deacon Gentleman as he flies through the air, but that's the basics of the wreck here at Charlotte. And we're back here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and just as Deacon Gentleman was racing in style, I believe his playoff chances are going out in style, and Deacon Gentleman went out in style tonight, as we'll show you the replay uninterrupted. Deacon Gentleman spinning like a top and flying through the air like a pigeon here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You'd think at least 30 drivers were out of this race, but there are still a lot of competitors left. It's just going to take some time for them to bunch together here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the caution flag is out, and Mitch Barrier will likely lead us to under yellow here, and Mitch Barrier will lead us to the caution flag, and it looks like Jordan Walker goes for a spin. And we're back from commercial break here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and it looks like Jordan Walker gets tagged by Jarrett Trudell, the infamous Jarrett Trudell in the McDonald's machine, and let's take a look. Jordan Walker goes for a long spin down the backstretch, and Jarrett Trudell gets away like the Joker. We see a Dave Wilson victory. Oh, and Joshua Harrison's in the wall. Martin Kozarcha, playoff drivers around. Watch out, everybody. Oh, and Trevor Walker's involved. Multiple playoff drivers involved. As a big one has taken place here at the back of the field, and playoff implications are aplenty here at Charlotte. And we've got a crash in the back early here. Noah Hobson's involved, the points leader. Oh my goodness, and a wreck to start this race. And a couple playoff drivers, as I see here, involved. And we'll get a replay of this accident in just a moment. And we're back here at Homestead Miami Speedway in the cutoff race before the Championship 4, and our points leader Noah Hobson is involved here as Jordan Walker and Tyler Seville get involved, and Andy Seville goes for a flip and a half. And Denzel Scott, we'll get those replays in just a moment, but a lot of playoff drivers early getting involved in accidents. And we're back here with another view of the accident, and we're going to give you an ARCS crank it up from the viewpoint of Andy Seville, the playoff driver. Let's take a look. As Andy Seville and Denzel Scott go for a wild ride, and that's definitely not how Andy Seville wanted to start his cutoff race here at Homestead. Likely will not make it, but oh, and we got a crash! Matthew Bussey Jr. around! Oh, and the big one here at Homestead! Oh, and Matthew Bussey Jr., a playoff driver, goes around. And this is not good here at Homestead. And we're back here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Matthew Bussey Jr. was on the cusp of a Championship 4 appearance, and he gets wrecked here at Homestead in a big crash as a bunch of playoff drivers involved. Brandy Harper, Matthew Bussey Jr., I believe there's 2 or 3 other playoff drivers in there, but I couldn't see because of the smoke. Jared Jansen holding everyone up here. This is definitely not what they want to see. And Noah Hobson is getting those positions. Oh, we got a crash. Oh, and playoff drivers involved. Multiple playoff drivers involved. And a big one here. Oh, and Ellie Buss is up and over. A big one. Multiple playoff drivers, like I said earlier, are involved. And this is playoff calamity corner in turn 3. and we need to get a replay of this accident. And we're back here at Homestead Miami Speedway, and we need a replay of this accident. Jerry Funk, Diego Tacone, and Roland Heidfeld get involved. Trevor Walker involved. A bunch of playoff drivers. Tyler Seville escapes through, and Dre Hare and Brandy Harper smack Ellie Bus. And I don't even know who is left in this race for playoff drivers, and we'll get another replay of the accident here in just a moment. And we're going to give you an ARCS Crank It Up here at Homestead Miami Speedway with Ellie Bus. And Sean Carson still leads here at Daytona International Speedway for the Hooters 100. And let's take a look at the Hooters fastest lap of the day on the top right-hand corner of your screen. And Ellie Bus is still the holder of the Hooters fastest lap with, I believe, and we've got Pedro Perez, a playoff driver, sent into the infield. And he's going to come back and collect the field! The big one here at Daytona! And a playoff driver involved! My goodness! And this has flipped this race on its lid! And Pedro Perez is going to get shuffled to the outside line. No! But Jerry Funk is still in the prime position here for the championship. Carter Hayden leading at a super speedway. No surprise. The final lap of the season is underway here at Daytona. We've got a wreck! We've got a wreck! The championship drivers might be involved! There's a crash in the front of the field! Multiple drivers involved! And we're back here at Daytona International Speedway. We're going to take a look at that last lap crash that took place between Jarrett Trudell and Cassidy Reynolds and took out the playoff contender of Noah Hobson. Jarrett Trudell gets sent to the inside line, but he just keeps accelerating and nearly takes out our leader of Carter Hayden, but absolutely destroys Ellie Bus. And if you see Callian Bogarts, and a bunch of drivers piling in, and Noah Hobson absolutely derailed his championship hopes and gave Jerry Funk an easy ride to the championship in the ARCS season.